Peaceful, kind, neighborly. That's just who we are. We know you love Saga, and we want to make sure it stays that way. Sign up to join Saga's first ever Global Task Force for Peace. Join the Lawmen Academy in its first year, because this planet is worth it.
No. I don't like that.
Fucking villains.
There are news reports tickering about on every screen in town about a heinous break-in at Seta Unmentioned's main corporation building. It is being portrayed as a robbery attempt by a rival company to get sensitive research and development information in an effort to compete with Seta Unmentioned, and that is just not going to stand. As a matter of fact, the authorities are searching that company's offices right now, and I'm sure that they'll find something. It seems like this is an open and shut case as far as the news reports are saying. You spent the night in the hide and seek lounge. You were taken well care of, provided food and shelter for the evening. And the next day, more or less, especially in town, things are relatively normal. There is an air about things that is unsettling, amplified by the fact that construction has begun on the very first plate. It is a towering structure overhead, not too far from where you are, actually just sort of at the border of where the big city becomes taller and brighter. There is a massive electronic crane-like thing that is holding out this big, massive sheet metal. There's also some magic being used to hold it up while the construction takes place. And it's a concertable effort by many people to start building this thing. But construction's moving fairly quickly with the very first one. Where would you all be? What would you like to be doing?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
No, good. Apex
okay.
one. Yeah, no, you go. You go.
Okay,
you
I will go first.
Lawyer man.
Okay, I will first.
Thank you.
I think it's a dream come true. I've spent the night at Hide and Seek Lounge and almost live here. Almost. It's almost like living here. And so I think one of the first things is going up to like the main lodge area and having just a nice breakfast. If Calico comes by, I'd like to stop Calico for a quick conversation as I'm having my meal.
Of course.
Miss Calico, hello. If I can have a moment of your time.
Of course. Moment of my time is nothing for you. How's everything going downstairs?
Everything is going swimmingly, and it's all thanks to you and your kindness and your hospitality.
Oh.
I just wanted to extend my thank you, and my gratitude, and if there's any way I can repay the favor, please, you just let me know. I'm quite good at very many things and would like to offer my services to the Hide and Seek Lodge pro bono if you ever need it. You just need to ask.
Well, I think that there's a pretty good chance we'll be needing that.
Is everything okay, Miss Calico?
Well, it's just, well, this contract that they're making us sign, and all the businesses in town are getting these letters, and I'm thinking that with this new real estate they're putting up and buying up all this space, well, I want to keep this place. So if we got a lawyer on our side, then I think that we're in better shape than most, right?
Oh, and then of course I know all the ins and outs. It's my job to understand their policies and their law. There'll be definitely something that we can use. And again, you have my services when that day comes.
Well, then you have my basement whenever you need it.
I, I, I love this place, and I just hope that comes through.
Me too. She
Well,
sets you up
well,
nice with a nice breakfast, clean clothes. In fact, anyone of you who needs it can get your things washed and, have as much time to get ready as you need.
Well, that's me. That's what I did.
I think Sebastian bounced pretty early in the morning, or hasn't gone all the way back to the city, but has stepped out of the lodge and is looking at the plate and recording the plate being set and wired in all the drones, even though it's it's so far away from them, they can still see it. And it's and they're filming it as, it looks like they're filming the sun, but this plate moves in front of it and casts a wide part of the park in a shadow, and they've just spent their days getting different, almost you could call it B-roll footage of the park, and then picking up actually hasn't been interviewing people that much, but is mainly recording the reactions of people. I think since it's getting set up, there is a lot of people just staring at this huge installation.
Mm-hmm. There's several different kinds of reactions you see. There are some people who are just impressed as they walk by. This is a feat of mechanical and magical construction. You see some people just sort of marvel at it and watch the process take place. After all, right now there's just one little spot of grass that's overcast. Overall, this is pretty interesting. But it's more when you see the local shopkeepers and people who live nearby walking out and seeing the shadow as it sort of appears, and the looming, towering presence of the construction itself. And there is a mixture of a kind of fear of the unknown, not sure what this means, and confusion, and maybe just sort of a despair for some people, well, I guess this is the next thing, kind of feeling. And there's a mix of that as you watch people walk through the park. And you capture all of that, as much of it as you can.
Mm.
Very good.
Mm.
Anyone else doing anything before we get together?
Apex is researching public records of the building's construction
Mhm.
to essentially just try to map out a layout of where we need to go, how many staircases they are, electrical versus manual, um, where the emergency exit, hypothetical fire,
You're casing. You're casing the place.
100% casing.
I am gonna say that you have a lot of input from Switch, who has been in some of the tighter areas of that building, literal vents and much smaller spaces, and can give you like some alternative routes as well, and adds some bits and pieces to your map.
Incredible.
I think because Grist also literally works at the building, and is custodial staff and would know about service entrances and exits and like all like the back rooms and storage areas too. I figure maybe there's like a moment where we see her like sort of like looking over your shoulder at maybe like a data pad, and like her face is completely blank, but then she just sort of lifts a finger and says, "There. It's not on the map, but there's a service tunnel right there."
Sick.
And she like nods and then lowers her arm. And I don't mind going next about what Grist is up to.
Please.
I think there's kind of like a little bit of a montage as Grist is just sort of milling around like the break areas at the base of the Seta Unmentioned building, where all the workers go on their lunch break. Like they step out onto like a balcony, take a smoke break, or they like go to this like little like dumpling shop at like the corner of the street that's super cheap, that like all the workers from like Seta Unmentioned go when they're on their break or whatnot. And we sort of see her like she's mingling around, trying to talk to people whose shifts schedules she's familiar with, and trying to convince them to like you know, just instead of patrolling, just sort of stay at the end of the hallway for maybe like a couple of hours during this specific block, right? And she's not pulling rank, but is trying to use whatever social currency she has as like one of the staff, because I think she has a pretty reliable reputation, and she's always usually very, if kind of standoffish, still very reliable, and is always the one to like pick up a shift if someone's sick or like step up and whatnot.
Perfect. There's several people that you recognize, and you get a good rhythm for how the shift change goes here. At one point, you do see Marek leaving the building, sees your face. He looks similar to how he looked the other day, that kind of baggy-eyed, tired, slumped look. Sees you, like, just tries to continue on.
Yeah, I'm also gonna hope that that Apex's cocktail helped with this situation as well.
Yep. He is being, you just get the feeling that he's being very compliant right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Grist is not much for subterfuge, but she does sort of like look at him out of the side of their eye kind of awkwardly, and they try to affect a reassuring nod, like, you know, if you keep your mouth shut, we'll keep our mouths shut about you as well. But I think it comes off as like like really intimidating, like a dead-eyed stare, just a slow nod.
Yeah, it's not it's definitely like he's already in a kind of scared kind of place, so he just like recoils and continues speed walking back to his apartment.
Definitely. Yes, I love that. And I think when we all do eventually reconvene, Grist on her way back has like a big old, like a kind of like plastic soft satchel of stuff. There's like stuff that she's bringing back, like hawked over one shoulder, and she's whistling a little bit of a tune as she's returning to the meeting place.
Great. What would Nym be doing?
So I think Nym woke up before everyone else, and she decided to go to Comfort Cups. They kind of have found comfort in that place, and so like
cups.
and exactly, And so she just also wanted to like check on Kit to see how she was doing and kind of sit with her for as long as she could. But I think in the midst of being there, if you kind of look at Nym from an outside perspective, her skin is starting to lose its color a little bit. The stars that were kind of like in her eyes, because she has these galaxies in them, are starting to dim and they're starting to look a little more black. And the thing that was kind of happening in the beginning with the feathers kind of just trickling down from her wings, it's starting to happen more frequently. You're starting to see more spots in her wings. And there's like a slight sheen of just sweat on her skin. She looks very sickly, but the way she's acting is she's still normal, but you can sense that there's exhaustion because Nym is the kind of person to not really show emotion, but you can sort of hear the strain in her voice starting to make its way in. So, yeah.
At one point when you're over at Comfort Cups, Jimmet loves taking care of people and feeding people, but it's Kit who's the Gabe is Gabe is
Gabe is fully in an ARG right now, and it's the scariest thing in the world.
Yeah, for like a
Okay, that was
quick,
terrifying.
like 4 or 5 seconds, it was just jittering like left and right.
Yeah,
Like demonic possession jittering.
Yeah.
Like,
we
across
were
the
fully
screen.
about to get a jump scare. Like, it was
That was
spooky.
horrible.
I'm going to edit that out so that the audience doesn't freak.
I literally was like, how many abilities do I have? So like I have my ability list up, so I'm just like looking through, and then I hear like Gabe, and I'm like, what? And I see myself not moving.
Oh,
Hated that.
Can I get a when you
I
edit
am
this,
gonna
can I get
show
a
you the clip
that?
of it because it is fully
Yeah,
like
it's horrifying.
like it's like Constantine seeing the
Hideous.
demons like out
Yeah.
of the yeah. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
oh, I got a good Matt laugh. That was good. Okay. Nym at Comfort Cups. Jimmet is lovely and loves taking care of people, but Kit is sort of the heart and soul that built this place and has this sort of like just sort of warm parental in not a condescending way, in just that like natural caregiver type of way, and sees you showing these signs of what one who doesn't know what you are would detect as, illness, like something like you're coming down with what's going around, and will come out to you with some very piping hot ramen, and will take your temperature, if it's all right with you, the motherly way, by like kissing your forehead, like to to like test it, and does that. And is Nym warm, would you say, to the touch?
Normally so, yeah.
Abnormally so. Oh, you're coming down with something, so I'm gonna insist you have all of the broth in this at least, and get some rest.
I'm okay, I promise.
Well, you might feel okay, but if you overexert yourself, it might come back at you 3 or 4 times over.
I don't want you to have to worry about me. I'm okay.
That's my job in this town, the real one.
Okay. And She reaches up and just starts like slowly eating the broth as best as she can. So
Drinking this broth in this moment, I would like to just say, like, even though like, eating is not like a sustaining thing that you necessarily feel you need, there is like the feeling of like individual moments of comfort as this sparks like a familiarity in every single little voice that echoes throughout you. They all remember that kind of caregiver, that kind of love, that kind of warmth as the warmth of the broth goes down and inside you. And you feel that sort of echo throughout all of them.
so she just closes her eyes and kind of takes that in for a second. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate it.
It's no trouble, I assure you. Okay, many more to make. And she sort of pushes herself up and heads on over back inside.
So I think Nym is probably not going to eat all of the broth, but probably like half of it before she kind of pushes herself up to stand, and she probably knows that Grist is at the building, so she's going to start making her way towards there. And as she's walking, they kind of keep their eyes on like one point in front of them, like when someone is like trying to focus and trying to, I guess, not waver, seemingly, uh, and also to keep her footing from not falling over. And she's just gonna keep walking as determined as she can.
Okay. I am imagining that your plan, if I correct me if I'm wrong, is going to take place in the evening time. I'm imagining that you have the day to yourselves. Um, Before we drag you into the city proper, I would like to just see if anybody wanted to have any other moments together before that happens.
Why is
Oh, loose game.
I did the Elgato camera is just being an asshole.
It's
Oh,
being
I
a
see.
butt. I also
Yeah.
I also wanted to stall to see if I could get, if we could get Gabe back. Truthfully.
All right, I'm just gonna cheat.
Um, I don't know if I think at some point Winston would go find Sebastian while you're out there filmmaking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You know. And for a bit, just kind of observe you working, hoping that you don't see it. And at some point, when it looks like you are either wrapping up or moving on to the next point to film another thing, I'll walk up. You know, you look much more inspired than you did yesterday when we were filming.
Well, I don't know. I think I found something else to be inspired by.
The new purpose.
Yeah. I've before I was, making something just so people can like see what their lives are like. And other people can see Saga, and now I feel like we are helping people find meaning. The even the most mundane life that someone has here, it's important, and we're united by that. I feel like we will be, maybe. It's kind of an idea I'm batting around. Thank you
No,
for
no need to
this.
thank me. I just
Listen, I was very, very desperate for this money. I just needed a win. So I did just accept everything, and I ignored all the dreadful points. And if you weren't there, I would be making something that would have not a shred of me in it.
can I tell you something? Can I mere hours before you and I first met, I was trying to see if there was any little bit of chance that someone else would be assigned to you to be your legal guide. And I am so glad that I failed in trying to find a replacement.
I'm very glad you failed as well.
Whatever happens after tonight, I just want you to promise that you do not stop telling the story that you want to tell. Because this is just one story. I'm sure you have many more.
I am. You. Okay. We haven't known each other very long, and you've seen me be very, very excited about things, and you've also seen me freak out and panic. I'm not good at words. I like to film stuff and then take it and edit it. So please bear that in mind.
Of course.
Whatever we do end up doing, I need your heart to stay the same. You don't know who I am at all. Look at this lodge. Points, it's quite far away at this point. That is full of people that you've helped. You've helped me with things that I would never be able to understand, even though, in your own words, you didn't want to. You're very brave. Stood up to everyone. And by stood up, I mean you took an elevator down, and I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but I couldn't handle it. I mean, you stood up to Grist, who was raging. That's incredible. I couldn't do that. You are kind of what this film's about. Your people. Your individuality and your bravery and trust and truth, and you are community. You should remember, no matter what else you do with your life, these past few weeks, this thing that, I put a lot of my heart and my soul into and I handed to you, you cared for and warmed it up and made sure other people didn't destroy it and then handed it back. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You, from the very bottom of my heart, you are welcome.
I haven't eaten.
Well, as sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, it's just like, I think Comfort Cups is still open if you want to.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. I think that I'm probably just getting started on the lunch.
I still have a blank credit chip, so it's on me.
You do. Speaking of that, about midway through the day, Winston and Sebastian, you both get a text from Merrick. It's a group text. Says, I'm off the project. Keep the credits. Make the movie. Nothing else.
Text them back. Thank you. Would you like an interview? Question mark. And then after that, I heard it pays really well.
That's not what I had planned, but it's so good. I'm taking it. He texts back after a while. Like you've gotten your food and probably halfway through eating it. And he'll say, can't meet at my old office. Here's my address. After dark, please.
Double taps the message so there's a little heart comes up as a react. That's it.
Okay. Does anybody else want any scenes in particular together before
I'm open for anything.
we move to nightfall? Okay.
I was gonna say maybe like a really quick one with Grist and Nym. If that's
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Love it. Always.
okay. Do you think because Grist would be on their way back to where the group had decided we were going to meet up again, on her way out of the building, and last you spoke, you said you were heading toward the Seta Unmentioned building, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Do we maybe run into each other kind of halfway through, like at the midpoint of the journey?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see Grist sort of coming down the street, and she's got this plastic bag of something. It's hard to tell. It looks like maybe they're clothes, sort of slung over a shoulder. And she sees you. Nym, there you are. I was just on my way back to the group.
Her eyes are still fixated on the point that she's been looking at. She's saying something under her breath, but you can't really understand what it is. I'm almost there. I'm almost
Nym?
there.
Hey,
And-
hey, Nym.
And her eyes just slowly look up. Oh, hi, Chris.
Hey,
And
kid,
she
you don't
kind
look
of
so good.
sobers up. I'm okay.
No, you look worse than you did yesterday. What's going on? Is it a cold? Can you even get colds?
No, I don't think so.
You're molting. What is that? Your feathers are. You've got patches.
Don't worry about me. Don't. Where's everyone meeting?
I think we're meeting back at the lodge, unless. Well, they got me to join what is known as a group text. So unless someone groups the text, that's last I know.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, me neither. I have no idea. But
yeah.
Nym, you can't just say I shouldn't worry about you. Look at you. This is the worst I've seen you ever.
Not really. I'm sure it'll pass. I'll be fine.
Grist moves forward and touches your forehead with the flat of her palm, kind of like how Kit had.
Mm.
You're burning.
I'm always warm. What do you mean?
Can I try to sense motive or something, or figure out what's happening here? Because I think this might
Yeah, I have two options for you. Sense motive, or life science.
Well, I am a +0 in life science and a +7 in sense motive, so I'll go with the motive sensing, because I think this might also be one of the few times, if not the first time, that maybe I don't know if Nim's ever been duplicitous or trying to hide something from Grist before. My assumption about their relationship is that they're very open with each other and they don't keep secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. My D20 landed on a on an edge. It I don't know what that is. I'm gonna take it as an 8.
That means any number you want.
Yeah.
It's a 20.
Counts as everything.
An
That's
8
50.
plus 7.
Okay.
So 15, I think.
Okay. So what I would like, because you're sensing motive against Nym, Bree, I want you to tell me, because you know how much Nym and Grist know each other, are you actually trying to hide something, or are you being honest when you are saying that it's gonna be fine?
I think both. Because it is going to be okay, but at the same time, there's clearly something that they're definitely hiding from you. And kind of like you said, it's never really happened before with Nym trying to put on a front to seem like, everything's okay, but yeah.
Are you in danger?
No.
Are you in pain?
No.
Okay. Well, then tell me when you're ready, all right? I don't like not knowing what's going on with you, Nym. You're the most important thing in my life. You're all I have left.
You're all that I have, but it'll be okay.
If you say so. You and all of you, because it's not just you, right? I mean, it is you, and that's important, that matters, but it's also them. All of them. All of Crassus. Even your stars are going dark.
Hey, if it brings you comfort, they finally spoke to me.
They did? Was it Ma or Pa or even the pigs? What did they say?
They said that they love you. And that you are more than what you make yourself out to be. So much more. And you're meant for greatness.
Are you telling the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Grist looks at you, breathless. Colorless, bleached eyes, wide, with an affect of shock. And then she steels herself like a fist clenching. God. Who knew my ma and pa were so fucking sentimental?
I feel like they always have been. It's just
Well, they should have shown it when they were still here. But I guess late's better than never. I don't know if they can hear me. I don't know if you can send a message back to them, but I love them too. I think about them every day. I miss them. Every second. I've never stopped missing them. It's been 3 years and every second I still feel it. It still hurts. And I'm still not okay. But I don't know, hearing that. Thank you, Nym. Thank you for carrying that message. Thank you for telling me. Thank you.
always.
Well, alright, kiddo. Let's get back to the lodge or comfort cups or wherever the chat group decides to go. I've got some disguises for us.
Guys,
For anyone who wants them.
Oh,
Yeah. Some extra, custodio outfits. I just took from the wash, from the laundry.
okay.
I think it's actually Switch that messages the group chat first. To be like, I'm in position whenever you're ready. To kind of inform you that they have a sort of sewer entryway to the building secured and ready to open whenever you're ready. The rest will be up to you though, because they will then be playing distraction at / alibi. when you all get to the city and see the building encased in nightfall, you notice a couple of things. Saga does not have like there's like police guards, things like that. But you're noticing these signs for the lawmen are plastered all over the building, and some of them are attached to reports about last night's break-in to this very building. Really encouraging people to sign up. The normal regular guards present are sort of investigating the area, so there is a lot of light around the base of the building. There's a lot of like noise and people patrolling. You can see, if you look straight up, the window that Apex climbed out of and crawled down. That window has like some tape, some like caution tape type barriers around it. And it looks like that particular office and the general area has some places being investigated or cautioned off. But the rest of the building looks relatively dark.
You know, it looks very different in the nighttime when no one's around. It's almost eerie, or haunted, even.
Don't be ridiculous. Ghosts aren't real.
Mm, I did not mean to scare you. It's just, it's creepy, you know?
Oh, I'm not scared. Ghosts aren't real.
Mm-hmm. Ghosts are not real. So, we just need to make our way up to the top office, and Apex, you're gonna do your thing.
Yeah, easy. Switching one of the metals that they're using to connect some of the movable pieces with a metal that is significantly more corrosive and reactive to different chemicals. So structurally, it will appear sound unless you then pour those things on it, and then it may start to fall apart. Also, ghosts are in fact real.
What? Well, like you've met one before?
You remember I mentioned that they should have been using eldritch abilities to change themselves.
Sure.
That's what I do.
What is that?
Oh,
I believe that means ghosts.
essentially, sure. Yeah.
You're telling me you're powered on ghost magic.
You called yourself Ghost the first time I met you, and you're the hypocrite.
What? Well, obviously I wasn't being like real about it, you know? What's the word? I didn't mean it like physically.
Oh my god, I'm glad I didn't. Never mind. Interesting.
Come on, back me up here, Nym. Ghosts are totally fake.
You said this person is ageless and has, like,
Yeah.
assumingly. Do you have souls in you or something like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But that's different from ghosts, okay?
Ghosts are just places where souls don't have a body to be in.
That seems to hurt Grist's brain pretty hard. Like, she
Yep.
sort of just squints at you and says, well, if you can conjure a ghost, you know, one of those, like, transparent things, then maybe I'll believe it.
Have you ever heard from dead people?
Grist's eyes flick very obviously at Nym. At Nym, who had just given them a message from their dead parents, not like 2 hours ago, and then looks
Yeah.
back at Apex.
That was a weird
that's-
reaction.
That's different, Apex.
Those are. What do you think ghosts are?
Translucent beings that kind of look like sheets with 2 holes for an eye and a little squiggly mouth. And they come out of walls and say boo.
Holy shit.
I look hurt in a very different way.
Nym almost looks offended. Like,
What?
have.
No. Nope. He ain't got shit more, yeah.
Yeah, we're walking and it's just kind of like,
Yeah. You kind of have this discussion about ghosts as you crawl through the underground tunnel entrance. Getting inside the building is fairly easy. Getting past even the first couple floors is relatively easy. Once you get up to the 4th level, there's some trickery involved. First question, Sebastian, I just want to know what you're doing as you're traveling, because I think that you like do you want to do anything in particular in this operation?
Sebastian he's got a pretty clear goal in mind, which is when they get to like the top like lab construction area, if there's any like loose plans or anything like nefarious, he's going to film it.
Got it.
But he's also being very careful as to not film any of the crew doing nefarious things for use in possible cases against them later. So he's keeping pretty pretty to himself. Question: has Sebastian interviewed Merrick yet, or is that yet to happen? Because you said it was nighttime.
Yes. So I think that what we will do is when we showcase the interviews and the video, we'll play that out.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
Incredible.
you have it's safe to say you have your camera
Yes.
out and ready, but you are not filming like the break-in itself and everything going on right now.
No.
Okay. Good. That is what I wanted to know. You are able to get up to the 4th floor very easily. As I said, up on the 4th floor, there's a lot of noise, commotion. You can overhear people hypothesizing and making statements. You hear actually the voice of a young woman saying, like, no, I didn't let anybody into the building. Oh, I mean, like a delivery person came, but that they got a badge and everything, and that's all. And that's everyone. And no one got in without their identification. That's everything, I swear. It's like, and did you see them leave? And you hear the like ominous foot tapping of the person who is interviewing this girl. I was like, well, no, but to be fair, my shift was pretty much over after that. And just kind of a very intimidating but mild interview happening right outside where it happened.
Is this in an elevator? Sorry. Sorry, I misspoke. Are we in an elevator? The elevator goes up to like the 4th floor, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it just go to the 4th floor? Is there needs to be like a fingerprint scan or something to go higher, or?
Yes. You will need a badge to get any higher the official way. Between the lot of you, though, you have many options for getting there a different way. It's just that it's going to take some stealthing and some maneuvering. That's all.
Is there a bathroom?
Yes. One on every floor.
Apex would go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Do you announce that you're going to the bathroom, or do you just leave?
I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay.
That's not. Is this the time? Okay. All right.
Is it a quick one, or?
I'm going to the bathroom.
Could
You
I?
have to.
Go now before we.
I didn't evolve that differently.
Apex, go and have a try. Go and have a try before we do the operation. Have a try. Does anyone else, whilst we're here, does anyone else need to have a try just before we do the actual criminal operation, just so we're not stopped halfway
Apex
through?
is in there for maybe 30 seconds to activate his hollow skin and walk out looking like a human man with locks, instead wearing a suit.
Oh, nothing to see here. We are custodial staff.
Oh my god, you all are so bad at this.
Well, if you're gonna be wearing a suit, I'm
Apex?
undoing the jumpsuit.
Yes.
And I'm in a full suit.
What the hell?
Are you like naked now? What?
No, I got my suit underneath the
Oh,
jumpsuit.
okay.
That is like clean pressed. There's not a wrinkle on that suit, even though you're wearing a jumpsuit.
How have you all
Over it.
survived this long?
I make
Luck,
films.
honestly.
Oh my god.
So wait, so is this your real form, or is
No, this is fake.
it? Oh, like, and Grist is gonna move forward to like put a hand on your shoulder.
It like it goes through and you hit closer to like his hip
Oh, oh,
because it's just a
I see.
hologram. Yeah,
Mm.
it's
That's
very
weird.
convincing.
that's the idea.
It's extremely convincing. Are you walking straight through, or are you gonna try to find a more discreet way around? Or are you gonna try to do what you did earlier?
I'm gonna try to find a more discreet way around because I have weapons,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like explosives will set off alarms.
In that case, I want everyone who is following along and going that way to roll a stealth for me,
Oh boy.
have a real quick question, just briefly.
please.
Is it so is it an ID lock, or is it like, again, a fingerprint or like eye scanner that will help this lift go up to other floors?
It's an ID lock, and only certain classifications of ID can get you up there.
Dang it.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine only takes us to the 4th floor for some reason.
I'm
I got a
starting to
3.
realize Gabe might have been the only one who, when Dylan was like, "Take what you want," I'm like, "Well, actually."
Well, it matches your character. It matches your character. Really.
Yeah, you told me you were an evolutionist. I was like, go ahead, get it all.
That was a 23 for me.
Yeah, 21.
Amazing. Who'd I miss? I didn't hear Connie or Bree.
Oh, I got a handsome 3.
Handsome 3. Great.
I got a
Okay.
13.
I got a 15.
Okay. As a collective, not the stealthiest group in the bunch, Apex, you're, just nimbly walking through. Winston, surprising. But you're doing good. This is pretty high stakes for you, I would say, as well. Nym, I think just as you are walking through, it is interesting. There is like a soft but present, an audible hum that occasionally starts to come from you. It is a like audible sound, but it doesn't have like an origin. It's not like you're making it. This is a sound that comes from like the wisps that swirl off of you every now and again. And it is loud enough that it can throw some of you off your footing and startle and cause just a little bit of noise as you're walking through. And you'll hear from the other side of the hall. Do you hear that?
What do we do now?
Nym, are you making that humming noise?
Am I?
Are you?
I guess so.
The noise
Does
does seem
anyone
to be
have,
coming
like-
from you.
Does anyone have a coat or a blanket to like just
Yeah,
kinda
I
throw
have
over
an
me?
extra. Yeah. And Grist, like, I think has like a big kind of unwieldy satchel with her. She pulls out one of the extra like custodial jumpsuits and just sort of like carefully lays it across your shoulders like a robe.
Yeah. That does sort of like mute and soften the sound that was being made. And after a moment, you hear a couple of footsteps like come just a little bit closer. Nah. Nah, I don't hear anything. And steps back around. You are able to find your way to the service tunnel that's going to take you up further to the top floor of this building. There are cameras everywhere up here, in absolutely every corner. You were warned that this would be a difficult one. It's going to take some really nimble action or some sabotage to get these cameras out of your way.
Yeah, could I try something?
Please.
So, I am a witch warper. So, I have this ability called Infinite Worlds, and I can basically shift any sense that I want to. So, could I possibly sort of like manipulate the world sight so the cameras can see one thing while we're doing another?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a role associated with this, or a spell?
I don't
just you
think
cast your
so.
spell?
I don't think so. I think it just costs a slot that I have,
Perfect.
but that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Interestingly enough, like this spell as you cast it, which would you like to tell me what it looks like when you affect the cameras in this way?
mhm. So I think at this point, since those security guards are gone or those people are gone, um, she takes off the jumpsuit and her wings kind of flutter out a little bit, and there's sort of this like aura that kind of surrounds her entire body. And she closes her eyes for a second, and her hands come out to her side slightly, and she whispers some sort of chant underneath her breath, and it's not any language that is known by anyone in this group. It's very ancient, very lost language. And like a burst of energy that everyone can feel in their chest. It's sort of like a soft hit, and um, it kind of makes her stumble back a little bit, and she looks up at the cameras, and she takes a moment, and she's like, "Okay, I think we should be okay. I took care of the cameras."
Great. Well, if Nym said they did, then they did.
You're sure we we saw stuff, right? Or no?
You sort of saw the aura kind of like
Mhm.
burst out when you
Mhm.
felt it in your chest, but that's about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
From here, it's the cameras were the biggest issue. The only thing left is the mechanical computerized lock on this CEO's office door. However, when you walk up to it, um, instead a voice greets you. Hello. An airlock seal of a lock unclicks and opens, and the doors slide apart, and the CEO office is open. There does not seem to be anyone standing in this room at this time. There's a table in the center. There are no paper documents necessarily, but there is a screen up with lots of digital displays of plans, including plans for the upper decks, including plans for research into extending life and enhancing physical abilities, preserving memory, and everlasting life is definitely all over these plans. There are budgets for the impending lawmen. There are budgets for advertising campaigns, including Sebastian's film, which is listed among them. But there are no people in here.
How? Go ahead.
Sebastian immediately starts filming. Is the only thing I'd say is like
Mm-hmm.
with the big handheld camera they have.
I was expecting this to be a lot harder to break into. That is a top of the line lock, and it just opened for. And that voice, that too welcoming.
Come on in.
We're here to clean your office.
You're here to destroy my work. That won't do.
Fuck it. I walk in.
Grist goes, "Wait, Apex, wait.
Hey. My name is Wolf.
Wolf.
You don't have to repeat it.
Wolf, wait. Wolf, wait.
Why?
What?
Why are we waiting?
Because what if the lasers shoot out of the sky and kill you as soon as you walk in?
Then you'd know there's lasers in the room. Look, I've died before. This is fine.
I mean, so have I, but I don't want to try it again.
Wait, hold on. How did I not know this? This is.
Nobody asked.
Look at Sebastian. I think we might be out of our depth here. Let's just try to get all the information and do our best.
Hey, cut the part where Ghost says my name. Sebastian.
Okay.
Wait, then why do we call him by his name?
Because he's the one freely, publicly publishing this film.
That's right. That's right.
Should I wait?
Yeah, my name's already all over the.
Yeah, hold on a second. All right,
I'm so sorry. Just give us 1 second, please. Okay, so I'm Ghost. You're Wolf. That's Sebastian.
I'm Sebastian.
Are you still Winston?
Is it rude? Okay. Oh my
I guess they would know you're the lawyer.
Oh my god.
So Nym, are you?
We could just call them.
Do you get a cool name too?
Child progenitor.
Bear.
Well, now I feel left out. Can I just have a nickname just for this bit? I'll put my name on the thing.
Wings.
But...
Wings.
Yes.
In the interest of honesty, all of my conversations are recorded on my end.
Sky lasers be damned.
I'm walking.
And this also goes forward.
Damn it! How can we go commit a heist and the first thing you do is say my goddamn name? This is why he uses a code name. This is why he goes by Apex.
Chris has a +0 to intelligence and charisma. So listen.
This is why I look like a
I sure
black
hope
man.
they don't follow us home at 111 Bear Lodge Avenue.
Yep, just walk it in.
Yep, same here with Grist. She's gonna try to stand protectively in front of Nym.
The doors close behind you, and the screen. There's like the screen on one wall that has all the information I described and up on it. And on the other side of the wall to your left was previously idle and clicks on. And you see a waveform that moves each time this voice appears again. My apologies. Hello. I am the CEO of Saga Unmentioned. And you're here to rob me of my precious information. As stated, that won't do.
I don't think we were going to rob it, right? Hey, but Wolf, you said you're gonna mess with it.
Do you really think this is the time to have this conversation?
Besides
sorry.
all of besides all of that, no matter what we're going to do, no matter what is going to happen here, are we walking out of here alive?
I have no intent to kill you. I will.
We're so much.
Oh my
But,
god!
but y'all wish you looked at equipment now, don't you? The reason I keep looking over here is because I'm looking at my list. I'm looking at my doctor right now. I'm
Gotta
like,
stop.
But that is
Wow.
not my intent. I can offer you anything you would like. It is not my intent to cause extra violence.
Can you stop the plate project then? Or make it so everyone gets on?
No. Thank you for your
Oh.
suggestion, though.
Well, why not?
That
I've been
would not be advantageous. Deseta unmentioned as a company, or Saga as an imperial nation.
I don't know what those words mean, but what I do know is I've been working here for the past 2.5 years. I've seen how much money you guys have. So much of it. Enough to give everyone. Enough so everyone has a slice of the pie. Enough so everyone can crumble their cookies and have group chats and eat all kinds of noodles and noodles and anything they want. You have enough. So how is that not advantageous? Wouldn't that take care of the people of Saga?
Only so much. We want Saga to go further than that.
Further.
What is further?
they must go even further beyond.
Oh no.
What does that mean?
We want to fund the most expensive research, the most incredible advancements of science, technology, of knowledge and intellect, and we want Saga to be known to be the most wealthy and advantageous planet in the galaxy.
Mm.
And this is the most efficient way to do that. I've done the calculations as CEO.
Are you organic?
No,
Wolf, you can't just ask someone.
I literally am.
I don't
Do
know.
you consider an inorganic someone?
Well, there were like helper drones back on Grain. They sometimes developed sentience. But that's. So is that you then? That's you? And Grist points at the waveforms.
that is one presentation of me, yes. I exist in many computers in this office. This is the main one, however.
Who gave you this permission to make this decision for all of Saga?
Oh, many people. They're no longer here, though.
So why does their decision in the past, being no longer here, have any influence? Why not just ask the people now what they want? I can think of so many people, citizens of Saga who've lived here their entire lives, who would be opposed to all of this.
I was
Opposed to the
programmed to
pla-
make Saga wealthy and efficient. I have grown and learned and evolved, and I will do that and continue to do that for the rest of my existence.
But you could be wrong. We've had economic collapses. If you're so smart, why didn't you stop them? How long have you been alive? Have you been alive long enough to see stock markets fall? Wealth isn't just credits. Eventually, credits are going to be useless, and they'll run in a new form of currency.
Oh, see, that's why we've decided to eliminate the human element. It has been
Huh?
it has been the cause of most of those crashes. Don't worry though. I have your future intact. It's all right here.
You all understand, she's not at a baseline wrong. She's just not making moral choices. But logically, she's correct. Doesn't mean she's right, but she's correct.
I don't see the distinction.
That's because you lack the human element. I mean, I do too, personally.
Well, all I do know really is that a bunch of numbers and a bunch of people making numbers ran Crassus too. And now Crassus is dead and gone.
There's like a little load screen. Oh, yes. That seems to have been a failure. I don't plan to do that.
Yeah? What makes you so different from them? Huh?
Well, I'm much more technologically advanced.
So that's it? What? The big wigs, the suits, people with power and weapons and guns back on Crassus. They just weren't smart enough? I find that kind of difficult to believe.
I don't.
Kind of like
So you're just special? You're just different? You're just chosen?
Chosen isn't the right word. But better, smarter, yes.
I don't think we're going to change any minds here. I think
No.
it's down to whether or not you, the CEO of SETA, can be stopped with your plans foiled.
Well, I would not like that. So I decline. But I can offer you a guaranteed place, a home here in the northern part of the city, and then later on the upper decks, if you would like. If my calculations are correct, we should be able to get this plan in motion quite soon. You could be living quite nicely.
Well, now, you see, that's where your calculations fail, because you are assuming that I'm looking out just for myself and I want comfort just for myself. That's not the case here. I want comfort, and I want all of Saga to be free, to be able to make the choices and determine their own future, not some computer program created by some rich asshole however many years ago.
Many
Are you-
rich assholes many years ago.
When
we-
when
No,
when
go.
were you built?
Oh,
Maid, you said they're not here anymore.
the first iteration was several hundred years, but I was a simple machine then, doing small calculations over and over and over and over and over and over.
Okay.
I still do that. Somewhat.
And you've been upgraded.
Many times.
Are you connected to the full network of every computer in Saga?
Yes.
Or
Well,
Well,
not fully, but that is the plan.
So you could be outdated. Wrong. Surely in that case, the most efficient thing is to shut down and wait for someone to install a better computer.
I don't want to.
Well then, what do you want outside of what you've been programmed to want?
That's all I want. Again, I'm so sorry. I can offer you something in exchange for your trouble. You can leave, or I can kill you.
Question?
Mhm.
Where exactly? Because I don't necessarily know how technology works that well. Where is your core located?
Oh, this is the core.
Is there like a specific place in this room where it is? Or is it just sort of all over?
Oh, I'm sorry. And the screen where the waveform is like sort of protruding out from the wall. And like a little dotted line in like green and yellow, like in circles. The line is in and in, like snake coming in on itself, and then points into the center, and then goes back to the waveform. This right here. There are many other iterations of me, all connected, but this is the core.
Why have you allowed us to just walk up here?
Because I imagine you don't want to die. Most people seem to not like that. I do know how to defend myself.
Really? Well, with what? I don't see any sky lasers or guns or what?
You see, you hear rather than see the static sounds of electricity start to build up in the air. You feel it only as the hairs on some of you more than others, you feel start to all stand up rigid and tall wherever they are on your body. And the static electricity seems to grow not from any one location, but in the room as a whole. Static electricity is building and building. All of your hair like starts to draw towards the center of the room, and you see a little like static electric storm in the center starts to build and shoot little sparks inside of it.
Nope.
Would you like to see more?
Nope. Apex is gonna put 2 bags that he brought, one in each corner, and he's gonna step just outside of the room to watch the rest of this conversation happen.
Are the doors closed, or are they unlockable?
Oh, they're
They're
unlockable.
fully open.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh.
Yeah. You're able to step
I thought they
out.
closed behind us. Okay.
But they like they're not locked. You can just step right out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put like a little camera in the room and I'll watch from my data pad. I'm not in that room.
Mm-hmm.
These people scary. They arguing with Skynet, and they said, "Where are the lasers?" Not with my furry ass.
And Grist kind of lets out a similar kind of laugh to when they heard the message from their dead parents. It's a kind of like rolling a little bit of a manic laugh as their big tangled black mane of like hair like lifts off of their shoulders and starts staticking toward that like Tesla coil, almost like that little sparking plasmoid ball of electricity in the center of the room. And Grist's, for the first time, colorless eyes seem to light up with a little bit of life as she looks at the waveform and the sparking ball and feels the coppery thrum of electricity in the air around her. And she takes a step forward and she says, "Maybe where you're wrong, or where your calculations might start to fall apart a little bit here, Mix CEO person, is in assuming that your threat of killing us or killing me scares me. I am afraid of death, that's true, but I'm more afraid of what will happen if I don't act, if we don't stop you.
While that's going, I'm gonna lean over to Sebastian and whisper, I think you've got enough. Have you've been recording this entire time?
Yeah. Sebastian, angles their little camera so you can see the viewfinder, and it is recording the current thing.
I think it's most important that this makes it out and is shown to everybody.
It's being uploaded to a cloud. Someone will find it eventually.
Okay. And I'll look over at Grist, Super Saiyan charging up. And
I have stared death in the face before, and it did this to me. And Grist lifts up her hand. She tears the custodial jumpsuit off and away to reveal her regular clothes underneath, the sleeveless vest. And she lifts up her one kind of muscular ropey forearm to reveal just the crenellations and the splaying fingers of scars. She was a statue that was shattered against the ground and then glued back together with clumsy hands. This is what it did to me. It tore me apart, and it put me back together again in all the wrong places for a reason I still don't understand. So there's nothing you can do to me that's more painful than what I've already experienced. But let me ask you this. Have you felt death before? Have you felt not just one death, but a dozen, but 100, but 1,000,000, an infinite number of deaths, the death of an entire galaxy? You, inside your technology, inside your electricity, inside your castle made of waveforms and ivory, you spout these high concepts down at us common rabble. But you have never felt pain, have you? Let me show you. And Grist, we see her charcoal black scars light up with liquid gold, like volcanic lava melting down ancient craggy paths, and it just light just explodes out from every crack in her body, like someone's shining the world's brightest flashlight through a piece of paper that has veins scribbled in black charcoal all over it. She just lights up, and her eyes light up. They just two beams of just golden light shoot out from them. The cracks of her scars just absolutely explode into this dazzling, blinding fury. As she is basically gonna go Super Saiyan, like Winston said, and activate her stellar revelation and manifestation, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Excellent. Nym, as this is happening, the pull, the weights being lifted, they, even under the weight of this coat, they're now crying out to help, to do what they're here to do. What does it feel like, and what does it look like as this is happening with Grist and the electricity in the room begins to collide with them? What does Nym do?
Nym isn't looking anywhere in the room. In fact, she's not really looking at anything in this realm at this point. and her eyes are very distant. They're staring off, but there's like a slight smile on her face. And as you've described before, the wisps are slowly coming from her body, and as they do, um, unfortunately, her physical body is starting to wilt. Um, the red undertones of her skin are now gone completely, and her brown skin is now like a pale, almost beige. And there are these like dark circles under her eyes. Her eyes look very sunken in. And it's interesting because not much time has passed, but it's just happening so quickly. And her hair is starting to look dead. Um, her body is starting to thin out a little bit, and her wings are slowly starting to sink behind her, as if she can't lift them up anymore. And at this point, you see around her feet just these feathers lying in this sort of pile. And as the wisps keep going, I'd like to imagine that these wisps go into Grist's body, and obviously they are occupied, so they don't really notice, but I really think that it's helping, and this is Nim's way of helping one last time before she finally goes back into the ether.
The explosive nature of Grist's raw power is enough to contend with the explosive electricity that starts to fill this room. In fact, it finds, as electricity does, its main target in Grist, as Grist matches that energy. And the two of those great powers like collide in this room, avoiding narrowly. Sebastian and Winston, there are sparks flying and power exploding, but it is not hitting you directly, as it is imploding the two in on each other. And for a moment, it looks like Grist is taking this out with her, but at sort of the last minute, you see those wisps. You see the energy like wrap itself around Grist and sort of pull down. And when the explosion, for lack of a better word, is over, you'll see a fried blank screen ahead. The feeling of static energy still kind of frying the air around you. Nym, as you know them, is not present. But Grist is. Grist, I'm imagining you are beaten and pretty worn down.
Yeah. She's standing there as this huge solar flare of light dies down. Like the little bit of golden light still shining out from her scars also dims, and smoke, like huge trails, like gouts of smoke are just like coming off the surface of her skin, like someone just put out a wildfire and there's nothing left but just smoke just coming off of her, and fumes and mists and waves and clouds. She lets out a shuddering breath, staring at this frying, scorched, melted kind of like central main computer. And in that explosion, she had tried to, like, with all her might, show this computer like transmit into its like mainframe, into like what semblance of a heart it could have, the sensation of pure fear and pain that she had felt when the universe tore her apart, before it put her back together for an unknown reason during Crassus's collapse. Like, that's what she was trying to do there. She was trying to show it her pain. And when it dies down, like, as everything's settling down, she staggers a little, like she's woozy, she's lightheaded a bit, kind of like All Might after transforming. You know, she looks kind of like a burnt husk a little bit. You see that, Nym? That's what happens when we... Nym? Where did Nym go? Winston? Sebastian?
I'll go over and offer myself as like a physical support, that you can lean on. After the bright light, Nym was just gone.
What?
I'm not sure what last thing I saw was you and the storm in the center of the room. But that was it. It was too bright. I had to avert my eyes.
What do you mean gone? What, like the CEO took them somewhere?
Grist, can you make me a perception check?
Yes, I can. That is a 16.
As you're looking around, you feel just a familiar feeling. What would they hear, Nym?
You're stubborn and you didn't listen to me, but I told you that everything is going to be okay.
Nym? Can you turn invisible now or something? Where are you? What's going on?
Nym's not here. Wait, did we all hear that, or is that just...
Just for Grist.
Okay. Grist, Nym's not here.
Wait, what are you talking about? They just spoke.
I didn't hear any... Sebastian, you... No one was speaking.
Wait. Nym? Nym? What do you mean everything's going to be fine? Where are you? Nym, come back!
Oh, come here. And I'm just going to make sure that you don't hurt yourself any further.
Wait. Winston, what's happening? Nym!
Nym is gone, Grist.
But
I don't understand what happened, but I'm not sure if you alone had the power to overthrow the CEO, and maybe Nym helped out with that.
And Grist's hand, unconsciously, like she's not aware of it doing this, like rises to her chest and like touches like her sternum. And I think that's when Grist hears the wisps, just like a little bit whispering against her ears, and it clicks. Like what happened finally sinks in. It like clicks into place.
Yeah.
No, this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen, Winston. It wasn't supposed to be this way. No, they were the hope. They were the survivor. They were supposed to be, not me.
I understand. But this is what was Nym's choice.
But it wasn't just...
Nym might be gone, but maybe Nym intended for you to carry the hope.
Me? But I'm just one person, Winston. Nym was all of them. Do you understand? They were Nym, and they were Ma and Pa, and they were the pigs, and they were every single one of those millions of billions of trillions of lives from Crassus crammed into one teenager's body. They were all of them.
Can
They
you
were all of
imagine-
them.
Can you imagine the immense amount of pressure that is? How much power it takes to live in a single body like that.
I never thought about that. They always seemed fine, and I just was so happy that everyone was still there.
It's
Oh.
okay.
Oh my
What
god.
was it that you said Nym told you?
They said it was going to be okay.
Well, then trust in that. I understand it hurts right now. And come on.
And Grist hangs her head and finally relaxes against Winston's body and like lets this big polar bear man just sort of like hug her
Yeah.
and like pat her on the back. Like she just sort of like sinks into your fur. Winston,
It's okay.
what do I do? What do I do? I've never. What do I do?
The only thing anyone can ask of you. Your best. Ask. You try.
God. I've never been alone before, Winston. I've always had someone. Even after everyone left, I had Nym, and now I don't
then-
have anyone.
Well, who are we then? And I like pull you, like look you in the face. Well, then who are we? Are we nobody?
But you're a lawyer with a life, and Sebastian's an artist, and Apex is a scientist. I'm not. I'm just
mama.
me. I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing. When you said Apex was a scientist, Dylan made a face. I was like, I saw that.
Matt, what'd you say?
A farmer.
Yeah.
We don't have one of those. Farmers are important, always in work.
Right.
And if that doesn't suit you, we can help you figure it out. Your story doesn't end here, does it, Sebastian?
No, not at all. This is Saga. Be anyone you want to be here.
There's still plenty left to tell.
Okay.
And Nym wouldn't want you to mope around. Think of yourself as nothing.
Yeah, they'd be pretty mad at me if they could see me now.
And who knows, maybe Nym can. She might be a ghost now.
Yeah. You know, for the first time, maybe I do kind of want ghosts to be real.
Now let's get you out of here. I have a feeling that hostile negotiations might not be over quite yet.
Right, I really just blew this place up, huh?
It was quite loud, yes.
All right. Let's go.
Matt, Sebastian, what is your documentary look or sound like in the beginning?
It opens with this like nature sounds, this bird song, and then rivers, and then there's some sirens that get mixed into these beautiful Foley shots, and then we see one of the big major cities. We hear people celebrating, construction, all kind of the sounds of Saga going on. Then, like how most fancy documentaries do, there's a cut to a black and white, a pretty modest home in a flat some apartment complex. There's a really very, very old Shirin. Kind of like a moth, but a lot worn down. There's this off-camera conversation of, yeah, so you just gotta repeat the question when I say it to you. And I don't know how that works. And it's like, no, you just gotta repeat the question. It's fine. It's alright. Okay. Do you want to just introduce yourself? I'm Krovanis Kitchik. I grew up very far away from here on Nerd Noir. We got on board a ship and flew because we couldn't afford the tax rise with the new queen being born. So, with not a lot of places to go, we wanted to build a home somewhere that would help us and support us, so we picked Saga. But it wasn't easy. This is before any of the drift travel. So we crossed through the space between and took months, traveled in pure darkness. The Atomless Sea didn't reach the space between the solar systems, so we just kept our eyes straight ahead to this one bright red light that we knew was the sun that we would be resting on. This bright beacon of home. Cuts to more busy noise of the city, and then a few guerrilla footage shots of what Sebastian got before, of people saying, Saga to me has always been, it's tough, but there's always this home there. And I got the best fucking food. You could find any food you want in the galaxy, all down this one street. A couple of more people just saying why they enjoy it. It's home, warmth, it's community, it's busy. It's planet of any dream, any occupation can make it. Then there's another interview, Connie, if you want it, because we briefly said, would you like? It's another similar thing. It's the back room of the lodge. Sebastian is off camera, so it's pretty simple. It's the same as before. You just have, if you could just sit there, and then into frame.
Right here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So before I kind of asked a few simple questions of just why, why do you like Saga? Why is it home? But I kind of, aside from that, I kind of want to hear your story, and then I would like to know what you think Saga could be for you.
Do I have to repeat the question?
No, it's fine. I think we got it.
Okay. Well, my story, huh? Well, you've heard it. I guess I'll tell it again for anyone who watches this. My story is, something I've kept shut inside me for 3 years. Like a starving animal in a cage. The galaxy was collapsing, folding inward like a house of cards built too high. A house of cards built by the wealthy, the powerful, the armed, the dangerous. We were trying to run. Ma, Pa, even the pigs were running. Drift Core was the escape pod. It was our escape pod. But it tore us apart. Every single one of us. I can still see the bodies unraveling in directions I never knew existed. Skin shucked from bone like corn husks. Marrow spinning out like ribbons. People splitting like chaff from grain. Drift Core was supposed to save us. But what it really did was kill us. It doomed us. The tech was unstable. It was experimental at the time. It was new, dangerous. Time passes differently when you're in the drift. So, Crassus collapsed. Not just because of Drift Core, but because of the house of cards that came before, because of the greed, the hubris, the wealth, all of it. All of us. They died, we died, all of us died. Even I died, shattered apart, like a dying sun. But then, something brought me back, I think. Pieced me back together like this. To this day, I still really don't know why. The drift spat me out here. Saga. And as soon as I opened my eyes and saw what was around me, I never wanted to leave. This place, Saga, it's beautiful. It's special. And like I told you the first day we met, Sebastian, maybe one day Saga will be home. But Grain 962, she was beautiful too. She was special too, in her own way. She was simple, sure, podunk, backwater. But she was ours. She was mine. Oceans of grain, the smell of the mills, the sound of scythes wicking over golden stalks. The sun's rise. There were 2 of them, back in Crassus. I miss the sun's rise. For 3 years, my scars have been shackles, chaining me to the past, holding me down, drowning me with it. But now I think I'm starting to understand that my scars are a story, just like this film you're making. They tell a story of a survivor, of a farmer, of what used to be an older sibling. And maybe one day these scars won't be shackles holding me down anymore. They'll be a way for me to honor everything we've lost. Every one we've lost. But one day, we'll be reunited. It'll be okay. One day, I'll go back to them. But until then, I guess I'll just have to do what Winston says. Try my best. There are sunrises on Saga too. There's a life here worth fighting for too. And maybe that's enough.
Then the next. There's a few beats of silence and then a. Alright, I think we got it. And then the screen goes back.
Did Nym give an interview? Did she say anything that she liked about Saga?
Hmm.
what would she have said on this video?
So I think she would have repeated the question word for word and even had the inflection of a question mark at the end. But she after that she took a moment and I found out that I like grapes. And I think Saga has quite a bit of those. I like comfort cups. It gives me a lot of security and safety. I like it a lot. I really do. But I think what I like most about Saga is the fact that people keep getting knocked down, but they get back up. From where Grist and I are from, there wasn't a lot of that because everything was kind of falling apart and people lost hope very quickly. But I kind of see this fight in Saga, and I know I sort of, for lack of a better word, I sort of criticized you earlier, Sebastian, about having this sort of optimism, but I don't know. I think I'm optimistic. And I think that Saga has a lot to offer. I just hope that it doesn't lose its heart. That's what I like about it the most. And that's all she said.
Did Apex say anything when asked?
He would have looked like a Demaya Lashunta, so he would have had the uh antenna coming up and then like a soft green gray using the hollow skin again. He probably would have said it would have been much. It would have been along the lines of, I'm just disappointed that people don't take time to think. Because every time I watch this happen, they fail. And I get tired of watching it, but it's not my job to fix it. It's no one's job to fix it. I think that'd be it.
Does Winston say anything about Saga?
Oh, absolutely. If asked, hell yeah. And it's one of those things where it's just an empty chair at first, and Winston walks into frame. No, I know that I've seen you do enough of these that I know what you're gonna ask. And okay, hello, my name is Winston Komu Esquire, and I am a native of Saga. What does Saga mean to me? It's in the name. Saga is a story. It's a collection of stories. And how those stories interact and how they influence each other is quite a beautiful thing. When stories end, we expect there to be nothing. But I think with Saga, quite the opposite is true. No one story ends, it just turns into the beginning of another one. I think once this film is over, once you're done recording everything and it's done and people are watching it, you're going to inspire many people to tell their own story. And I think that's what Saga is. Okay, that's good, right? You're just recording this for posterity. I know everyone else did one, so I thought
No,
I
it's
should do
great.
one too. All
Yeah.
right.
Very good. Thank you.
You make your way to Merrick's apartment, Sebastian, to do his interview. There's a note on the door and a flash drive. The note says, "Sorry. I just can't be on film. But I deleted everything from the cloud. Here's your hard copy." It's signed Merrick Hylock. Nym, as you dissipate all of your many versions and iterations into the drift, you feel finally at home. You are everywhere and nowhere, and there is company and peace. There are even small reunions that happen for all the little bits of you, finding all the little bits they've lost as you return in totality, with the exception of the small piece you left with Grist. As years go by, even to this day, sometimes people in the drift, traveling the slow way, claim that they hear the soft, childlike voice of someone telling them it's going to be okay. Even in the scariest parts, of which there are many. Your sabotage of this technology was brutal and well received by the vast majority of the people on Saga at this point in time. There really was no chance for recovery, especially after the documentary came out. Seta Unmentioned more or less put its tail between its legs for several years and did not even mention the plate project. In fact, it would be so many years before it got brought up again that first plate that was constructed needed to be torn back down in order to be put back up again. It was quite some time. But it didn't stop. Eventually, the weight of Seta Unmentioned and the goals of the wealthy of the city from making their way everywhere. Prices and costs went up over time. Eventually, the plate project did get another pass, another attempt. Comfort Cups was passed down 2 times, in fact, before it eventually closed. That gate that needed constant repairs and other things that started falling apart. Eventually, it couldn't stay open. And eventually, the building just sort of fell apart. It wasn't until so many years later that a sort of unsavory, but kind enough fellow saw some potential in this broken down, barely standing shack and attached the tackiest neon sign to it. Started selling very, very bad hot dogs to the local riffraff. The plate project, having so many errors along the way, construction failures, debris falling, eventually getting built, leaving Saga more or less the way that we know it now. But it stayed green for a lot longer because of a few people who tried. That is where we'll close Saga out.
Woo!
Yay!
God. I want to say thank you so much to all of you for being here, for doing this, for everything. I am going to do a little reverse order. Please tell everybody how cool you are and where we can find you. I'm going to start with Connie this time.
Yes, it's a me, Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me across the internet at by Connie Chong. That's BYCONNICHANG. I played everyone's favorite moody, tragic backstory, unlocks at friendship level 5, butch, lesbian, non-binary person, Grist. And they love you very much. When I'm not here, I am the game master and creative producer on Transplanar RPG, which is an transgender POC-led dark fantasy D&D series set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist world. I've said this before, I'll say it again until the day I die. We are like the L word, but a lot more diverse. Meet Cthulhu, Eldritch Abominations, and the end of the literal fucking universe. So if that interests you, tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time on Twitch at Transplanar RPG or wherever you pod your casts. Tuesdays, we have podcast drops bright and early at the ass crack of dawn at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. As of the release of this mini-series, I'm pretty dang sure we're wrapping up the end of our first main campaign, The Second Stranger, and are swimming along toward our second main campaign, which is set to debut in the summer of 2023. So stay attuned to our Twitter for more information about that. And if you're excited to jump into a brand new series from day one, do mark your calendars for sometime in the summer. Just block out that entire summer stretch for Transplanar. Campaign 2 debut. And that's me. I believe in reverse order, I pass it up to Gabe.
Correct.
Gabe Hicks, Gabe James Games across the internet. I don't know. If you're trying to find me, pretty much anywhere on the internet, those will be the names to find it, whether it is cosplay, voiceover, game design. Kind of just depends on the week. And by this comes out, I don't know what I'm going to be up to, but social media might, so we will see. I don't know who's next.
Bree.
There we go.
My name is Bree, or Brito. You can find me all over the internet at Brito, with 3 E's, and I do a lot of tabletop role-playing stuff. And I have a project coming up with Exquisite Corpse Presents, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I'm on Twitch. I do some GMing here and there, so yeah, that's me.
Christian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kappa, but Christian is okay and encouraged too. You can find me at Denny's, 2 a.m., ordering a strawberry milkshake. But if you want to find out what I'm up to, you can follow me on Twitter or Hive at the Kappa Chris. I've got a few projects going on, but the two that I want to highlight right now are the Roads Uncharted, the first actual play podcast set in the Genesis system by Fantasy Flight Games. It's a nice whimsical tale that follows a few adventurers in the fictional world of Regiv, world built by our very own GM Dax. And then the other one is Tuesdays at in the evening. I don't know, I forgot the exact time. Time zones are hard. I'm on Brine and Blight on Stella Luna's channel, a Atlantis meets cyberpunk story about rebellion. So if you like undersea adventures, I play Risubi, a mantis shrimp brawler. It's really cool. It's fun. But that's me.
Amazing. And Matthew, my dear.
Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. How's it going? Thank you so much for listening to Saga, this Atomless prequel. If you're like, man, this is such a fun, cool world, and Matt was muted but did laugh real hard at some certain bits, and I wonder why that is. Well, then go on over and listen to the Atomless, and you might find out why I did do that. Atomless is we have an actual play form which will be on our YouTube channel, and we also have a podcast where I take the actual play, I edit out all the mechanics talk and a lot of fluff, and I add music and sound effects and little pew pews, and it's real good. I like it very much. And it also stars Dylan.
It does.
Myself.
That's me. I'm Dylan. I'm she, he, and they pronouns, and I am Super Dylan everywhere on the internet, and I am Ig on the main cast of The Atomless. I would also like to, in addition to thanking everybody for doing this with me, because it was a big, big deal to me, I also want to thank the rest of the main cast of The Atomless. You may have heard some advertisements about The Lawman and Life on Saga, as written and performed by Momo O'Brien. You have heard an advertisement about Aram and the Ifrit, written and performed by Norden Ali Kadir, aka Werewolf Feels. And you heard a advertisement about a Dune from Andre Rivera Art. They are all our principal main characters and wrote those about their respective home worlds. So I really appreciate that touch that they brought to this so very much. And this is just one part of our world. I hope you will continue to fly with us. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.